All right, so I'm going to animate, start to do some animation with the frame type animation in Photoshop. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the first frame. I want the swan to be over to, as you can see, over off the screen to the right. And I'm going to go ahead and add a layer, or a frame, excuse me. And then on this one, I'm going to move the swan in the middle. I'm also going to turn its opacity up to 100. Before I start, let me just undo that because, well, I can leave it. I'll actually leave. I'm going to do that. But what I want to do is I want to, before I start to animate, I want to put a layer style of an outer glow on it, so that I will have it, and when well, I can use it to animate with. So let's go ahead and do the glow, shall we? And spread. Oh, isn't that neat? And I'm going to change the effect. I love these things. And jitter. Sometimes, you just play around and you see, whoa, you just discover things. It's just like, for an artist, it's just the joy of life to just play around and see what you can get. Also in the screen, I can go and click and try different, these are called blend effects. Oh, I like that. Okay, so that layer effect, I want to copy that. Whoops, over here. I have to right click right here. Copy the layer style. And also put it on this one. Okay, and the next thing I want when on this one when he's in the middle is, after that, let me create another frame. And this one, the fairy appears. So I'm going to bring in the fairy. So here we have these fairies, and they're going. We found them on the internet, and because this is a class project, we can use it as long as we're not using it for income generating purposes. And this is, like I said, it's a class project. So we kind of lined them up like this and put them on different layers, and we put them in a folder. And now I'm going to drag this over here and grab the folder of the one file and drag it. Whoops. Before I do that, I want to make sure I'm on. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to make sure that on this file right here, I'm on frame 1 because I don't want it recorded. Okay, so now back to the fairies. Go ahead and drag this over. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this file. And here they are, but I see that they're a little big, so I want to reduce them. So I'm going to just go ahead and select all these layers, whether they're on or not, with a shift key. I'm going to scale them down. Okay, so I want the fairy off in right now. And in this third frame, I want the fairy on. Okay, and actually in the first frame, I want the fairy on, but I want it to be so light you can't even see it. Or almost. Okay, and so what else? That should do it for right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to select the first frame and the second, and I'm going to go over to this menu right here, and I'm going to create a tween animation between this selected, between these two, the first and the second, and I want it to, I'll just have all of these, the position of elements, the opacity, and the effect be recorded. And I want it to be all layers. Now, it is impossible to exactly control the frame rate of an animated GIF, which is how we're going to be saving it out. An animated GIF is sometimes called an animated GIF as well, but I prefer calling it a GIF because GIF sounds like peanut butter to me. So in our animated GIF, there is no exact way to control the speed. You can make things faster or slower, and that is our intention because timing is one of the principles of animation we want to make sure is incorporated here. So roughly speaking, 15 frames per second is what we think. So 15 frames is about a second of animation. So roughly speaking, if we have 90 frames, that's about, oh, something like about 6 seconds. And that's enough for me. So I'm going to say, OK. Let's see what we have. I'm going to hit play. And clearly it's too fast. It's not relaxing. The dove is going, the dove, I keep saying dove, the swan is going too fast. So I'm going to hold the shift key and select the last one. And as you can see down here, it says 0 seconds. I'm going to change that to 0.2. And let's try it again. That works. Okay. So next, let's add the fairy in there. So the fairies are there. And on frame, oh, there's only, on the next frame, I'm going to create a new frame right here. And this one, I'm going to turn on the first layer. Well, it is on. And I'm going to increase it to 100. Okay, so now I want to stop and allow the viewer to notice when the fairies come in the picture. So let's find that first area right here. And I'm actually going to turn on, though the fairy is on, I'm going to increase the amount. And I'm going to add a layer style, outer glow, and I'm going to enhance it and change it. Next, and I'm going to copy those effects. go to the frame before it and paste it. Reduce the opacity a little bit. Okay, so that's building, building. And then I'm going to paste the effect here. Increase the opacity all the way. Go here and make it blink. So it's going to blink, so that's going to draw the attention. Okay, I'm going to clone this layer, drag this into the paper icon. I've created another one. And I'm on frame 1 to do this. And then I'm going to go back to 60 where the fairy dust happens. And this is my new layer. I'm going to call this fairy dust. I'm going to paste, well, let me copy the effect from this one. Paste it on my fairy dust. I'm also going to go ahead and blur this thing. So I'm going to go to the filters, blur, motion blur, and I'm just going to blur it. Look at that. So there's my fairy dust. Boom. So I'm going to create another layer, and on the first one, another layer, first one, move it up. So let's see what we have here. So let me create another layer, and on this one, this thing is going to be moved up. So now I've got this going on.